So the security container is like a safe pocket where you can put your stuff or put some stuff in it, and like you'll get it even if you die. So you can still make a little bit of progress towards like unlocks or whatever.
Yeah.
And so when you purchase the Edge of Darkness edition, you got a 3x3 container. All of the versions of the game got a 2x2, but when you bought Edge of Darkness, it said unique secure container, the gamma container 3x3, right? They removed the word unique from that line. Stealthily, like they did it. But someone was looking at the pages and found it live. In fact, they archived the page that day so that if they did it again, they couldn't like go back on it. But they were looking at an older archived version of the page and noted those two specific key differences. And so that is like super scummy. They didn't even update the date the page was most recently, like when it says the page was last updated at the top, where, you know, most sites keep track of like updates, like updated this date or whatever. They didn't even change that. So they just straight up stealthily went into their own page, edited the phrasing, and then like they denied doing it. Currently, their stance on when the page was edited and how, they're like, no, it didn't happen. What? We didn't do it. So that's really bad. And goodness, that's like one of the worst parts of this, is that they went in and changed the phrasing to take away from things that people have technically already spent money on, to try to avoid the backlash of, you know, lying about what they were offering people and changing, you know, the deal after it was made. So people are understandably at this point royally pissed at Tarkov for doing this, specifically, you know, the developers and the main man behind it. They're like, the community, like their Discord is on fire, the Reddit is on fire, the game is on fire. There were hackers in the game, because, you know, the game has a massive hacking problem. There were hackers in the game going in and hunting down people who bought that edition of the game because their names were different, and they're like, there's a way to tell. So hackers were going in and hunting those people down. Also, I don't know how true this is, but I heard earlier today that there was a hacker who somehow got onto the single player servers, because it's like, I don't know why they have servers for the single player, but they do. A hacker got into some people's games and were killing them in their own single player games.
Wow.
Which is
that is
utterly hilarious, because it was supposed to be completely separate server architecture, so like, you know, technically, reasonably, this shouldn't be able to happen, but you know, they did it. I don't know how true that is, but it is utterly hilarious. Right? So they just basically lit themselves on fire, and the worst part about it is there was a Q&A, like an internal Q&A that was leaked, because the people who were like, you know, doing the Q&A were like, you know what, this is so messed up, we gotta share this isn't acceptable. And that's where they asked Nikita, the guy, the CEO, like the main director guy, like, what happened to the page when it was updated? And they're like, what that didn't happen. Like, or his question, like his specific response was, huh? And then the next question, like there was no elaboration on anything. It was just like, huh? But I gotta find it again, because there's a whole lot here. Maybe I missed or skipped over the thing that you found, but what was the thing you found?
Oh, the thing I found was that the Tarkov studio claims it actually doesn't have the server capacity for everyone who bought the game for the upcoming PvE mode.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think there's some sort of actual limitation, because it's like a Russian company that's like headquartered in the UK, and like whatever shenanigans they're going through to like run the company, it might be like really kind of super expensive to host servers. But like, that's besides the point. If they need money, they can monetize the game. But they chose this way to monetize the game, which is actually just taking huge, massive dump on everyone who ever supported them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the first thing in the Q&A is like, make a statement knowing, admitting a mistake was made is hard. He's like, a mistake? This is not a mistake. And he's like, why? Well, it's time to start preparing for the release. It's time to understand who are the true believers. No one forcing to do anything. It's your choice to just bail on it. Don't buy it, etc. So they're not English first for languages, so there's going to be a little bit of a stilted like way they speak.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's time to understand who are the true believers. That is like a phrase you don't want to say when you're like burning everything to the ground. Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's totally understandable that any company would want to have more revenue. Wouldn't it be better to release a support pack while being honest with the community? And the answer is we are honest with the community. We're not forcing anyone. After they went and edited the pages and stuff, like that's just crazy. The next question is, I would ask if there's some sort of issue for EFT, should we be worried about the full release? And he says everything is fine and going as planned. I don't know if anyone believes.
Yeah.
Do you plan on addressing the community again anytime soon? Your post on Reddit unfortunately was not received by the majority of community. They still feel like they're waiting for the right response. They're wanting to be as they want and feel. So basically, like, what he's trying to say is they're trying to like that the community is just seeing it how they want, and they're not really like looking at it like objectively. But it's pretty objective that they're screwing everyone over. I'm trying to look through this because some of them are actually just like questions about like the items that were added, and that's like totally fine. They asked about like other ways to monetize the game, where people have been asking for like a cat in the hideout or something, or like a dog, or like some sort of like just extra things that people want to pay money for, and they're like, it's in the plans. One of the most okay, so here's the question. One of the most discussed subject regarding the whole situation is the removal of DLC line on the Edge of Darkness on the website, and the answer was, what? That's it. That's the whole response to them actually live editing the page out.
Neat.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Also, some other miscellaneous stuff. The Gamma container, many thought it was supposed to be gone after the Edge of Darkness, but it was returned with the new edition. Any plans to change something? It's possible, is the response, which is, really bad, because, of course it used to say unique and now it doesn't. Any stance on the mod single player Tarkov now that there was a pretty prominent streamer that was streaming it, and they say let them be for now, which is like going back on their stance that they were just banning anyone who like played that mod. The question regarding the DLC line, when you check the prep order page, the season pass line for Edge of Darkness has been removed, but it can be found using the Internet Archive. The answer is we didn't remove that. So either it was some elite hackermans, or they removed it and just didn't want to admit it.
Yeah.
Which is more likely.
Yeah.
Which is more likely. Right, so this whole thing is going down. Everything's on fire. They're giving all of the wrong responses for all of the wrong reasons, and just being overly generally like very negative towards the community, and just like trying to jam this through everyone's throats and trying to gouge everyone for money.
Yep.
But, you know, there are so many other ways to monetize the game. Like, there's no skin system in the game. Like, there's no camos for guns, there's no, like, special camos for armor or anything in the game. And a lot of people would probably be willing to spend a couple bucks here and there on things like that to change their you know... There's so many ways to monetize this sort of game without actually having to blow everything up to get any last bit of money and revenue that you can, right? So now that everything's on fire and very much well lit, you know, the napalm strike has been called in and everything is blowing up, they go back on a few things that they've said. So now, as far as I'm aware, currently, the Edge of Darkness owners will get 6 months access to the PvE mode. Basically, 6 months of access towards the mode that they should have access to permanently, because they paid for it and it was a DLC / whatever, right? Okay, so here's an issue I have. The game's not released. It's not even 1.0 yet. Right? There's no DLC. There's no such thing as DLC at this point in the game. It's not even a complete experience. I mean, sure, it's a pretty good experience for what people want, and it's the only thing currently in the market that does exactly this specific thing. But it's not even 1.0. And they're trying to gate content away from people who didn't spend like the super premium ultra deluxe edition. But it's not 1.0. Everything that you do right now is part of 1.0. You don't even get to talk about DLCs until after the fact that you hit 1.0. And sure, there might be some companies and stuff that work on DLCs like before the game actually physically releases, but that's essentially like, it's not kind of an indie-ish kind of studio AA that this Tarkov game is. At this point, everything is 1.0 or before then. So that's an issue I have, is that there's no such thing as DLC at this point in the game. It just is content for the game that you spent money for. Mm-hmm. And then any like promises of DLC come later, like much later. And so it's a really shitty situation that they've just decided to go against the entire community, burn everyone as hard as they can, lie about editing pages to change the deal, or at least attempt to change the deal that they previously had with people who spent money with them, and just overall lock away content and server access because it's too hard or too expensive to run servers where they're like for them fit like right now. Mm-hmm. Which just be honest. Just say you need money. A lot of people have pointed out that if they had just asked for money, like here's a GoFundMe, people would have gave them money for free, for no expectations. They would have. A lot of people would have. A lot of people would have given them a lot of money because they enjoy the game. And they've spent 10,000 hours in it for the price of the old $150, which was the Edge of Darkness edition. Right, so a lot of people have gotten way more than their money's worth out of the game and would be very willing to give them money. Just not this way. It's absurd that they managed to burn everyone this hard. Also, a couple things I forgot. A couple more of the super pay-to-win mechanics. If you were to buy this edition of the game, the new one, the what's called the Unheard of edition or something, the NPC AI in the regular game would not shoot you from 60 meters plus. Like if they were too far away, they wouldn't shoot at you. If you had enough reputation with one of the traders in the game.
Okay. Which
is like super pay to win because some of the main dangers in the game is like long range combat where you don't know where the other person is and they get like a sneaky shot on you.
Okay.
So that's like pretty busted. What was the other one? Oh, the other one. Priority server access. So not only or they apparently having server issues and money issues. They're willing to sell people priority access to queue. Which, who says they haven't been doing that already and screwing with people's queue times? Like,
I mean,
a lot of people have like gotten
any
into
evidence of that. Like,
not a whole lot of evidence, just like some sort of what's the word? Just a couple things that might be kind of suspicious but aren't really like evidence. But like you can't just like treat people like differently based on how much money they spend. Otherwise, somebody who doesn't have enough time to spend a whole bunch of money on the game will have a terrible experience waiting in queue because too many people bought the super expensive edition and have priority over them. Like, it's just, it feels bad. Oh, they also made it so the Edge of Darkness edition owners got 6 months of priority queue as well. So that's when they walked it back and gave them 6 months of the PvE. They also gave them 6 months of the priority queue.
that's
So like
for 6 months though.
Yeah, it's a timed thing where people who should have access to it permanently don't. So it's a whole ordeal where they're lying. They're probably actually going to get sued like crazy for this because they lied and they tried to like alter the deals that they've made with people for when they give them money and have access to the game. It's like a huge consumer rights violation, probably in like UK law or UN law or whatever.
Probably, or is.
I don't know the details of that. I've only heard that it likely is because of the consumer law, right? Like consumer rights law.
Okay.
But I mean, it's super, super, super shady, regardless of if it's actually,
well, yeah, no doubt,
technically illegal or not. But I just, everyone's just astounded. Like, burn everyone down, burn the entire game down, lie, cheat people out of like their money, because now that they've walked some of the stuff back, people who bought the package like immediately now don't have exclusive access to some of the stuff that said they had exclusive access for because they've walked it back and like given it to the like Edge Darkness edition owners. Not only are they like they're burning people on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really, really bad. And that's most of it. I'm sure there's like a handful things more that I missed. But dang, is it horrid, horrible. Anyway, that's Tarkov right now. Everything is on fire.
Hooray.
Isn't it so wonderful? I'm remembering now that a bunch of like games, like the official game Twitter accounts, like responded to them and were like, hey, you know, we have a game that's very similar to that coming out pretty soon. And then the official Tarkov account responded to that saying, get 2 hours, get 20 minutes of fun from a copycat game. And it's like, what? It's why would they just be so rude on everything, on all fronts? Okay, I'm done with that. That was a rant. We're done. Tarkov is in a really, really, really bad place right now, and everything is on fire. So anyway,
Hooray.
Peachum.
Anyway, booze. The booze run.
We gotta get booze. We're gonna get the super price sake. Maybe I do know where it's located. Maybe I don't. I thought long and hard about secretly drinking it for myself. A victimless crime. The victim is about to be us because we need that stuff. Did you say something? Oh no, nothing at all. I guess you can relinquish it to you. The old man said it was okay. Or did he? It should be around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Here you go. Got the booze. Nice. Why was there booze behind the counter in a clinic? This town is so messed up. True. So I don't know what article you saw. You said it was like the servers?
Yeah, no, it's basically that the devs said they don't have enough server space, like server capacity for all of the people that bought the PvE pack.
Just SMH with the whole thing.
You know that thing that they're still allowing sales on, and costs like $150. Anyway.
Yeah. So they did actually remove the $150 edition of the game because it was supposed to be a timed exclusive at some point, but they like let it go for like years and years and years. And
there,
so
it was timed until then.
Yeah, that was like fine, right? That wasn't a huge deal. But then they add this one later, and it's like now that you can't buy the old one anymore.
No. This was the PvE.
Yeah, exactly. It's the PvE one. It's not the real one.
No. I mean, that's the thing that they don't have server capacity for somehow.
Yeah.
The new thing.
Somehow, the thing that they want to sell people.
Anyway. How good's the booze?
Any other news? If other than Tarkov? Then what are you waiting for? Hand it over. While we're doing this little cutscene. Hopefully there's some positive news. What do you think? It's Puck's signature sake. It's got a mellow fragrance and a mild flavor that go together like poetry. Meets every one of my expectations. It did good. And as promised, here's the key. A fire key. Nice. Thanks. And always such a production, though. Also, you guys are Earth sprites, right? What are you doing with the fire key? Funny story to that. 500 years ago, after peace returned to Grand Valen, we had no use for the jewels anymore. So we sealed them away and then swapped the keys with one another for extra safekeeping. That way, none of us knew where to find the jewel that the key we had could unlock. I see, an extra security measure then to make sure the jewels stayed sealed away. Yepperoony. It'd be real bad if they fell into the wrong hands, you know? How come we were able to get the keys so readily from each of the sprite elders then? Seems kind of convenient. Or is it because we're really that trustworthy? Because I feel like we're not. Well, that's all the time we got here for today. Gotta get ready for the next big one. That is not suspicious at all. Yeah, something tells me we're being played here. I mean, if the jewels weren't needed anymore, why not just give them back to the princess? That's not to look a gift horse in the mouth. Dude did just do us a solid. Let's just roll with it. All right. Super not suspicious. Did you find anything positive?
I mean, there's stuff, but it's like, hey, you want to see stuff for the developer of Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail's next game? The pre-registrations are opening soon. Didn't Star Rail just come out?
Yeah.
Right, but they already released they already released trailers for the next game. That game that looked really cool until I learned that it was a gacha, like the other two, because I didn't know who was developing it. Anyway.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's essentially what that means. It's fine.
Was the midpoint or the entrance to the gardens?
What? Let's see here.
We have the fire key now.
Yes, which is used in the fire dungeon.
Right. So...
midpoint.
Midpoint? Let's pull up that Destructoid article on how to get wings to Terraria.
Why?
Because it's amusing. I want to see what it actually says. Like, is there a reason why? Like, does it list a reason why they have an article for it?
It's to teach you how to get the wings in Terraria.
I don't know if Terraria was on.
I'm not gonna scroll. I'm not gonna scroll back up and look for it.
Okay. Did you see Fallout was having a resurgence?
Yeah, because they had a show.
12.
Like they released a Fallout show.
They did. Apparently
oh
it's
yeah.
pretty good.
No, let's talk about that because that's really funny too.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Have you?
It's not. It has nothing to do with. I mean, I guess it's good, or people would like not be doing this. But the show is causing a bunch of people to pick up Fallout again.
Yeah.
And then right as they do that, and people are playing Fallout again, Bethesda releases an update for Fallout 4, which breaks all the mods.
Oh, nice.
Open chest.
Bethesda. You got it. Fish.
We got some squid. Yeah, so just, you know.
Don't we love Bethesda breaking everything constantly? Isn't it great?
It's a thing.
It's so wonderful that they go and break everything constantly. Money. Lots of money. My goodness. That is so Bethesda. It's like, oh, Bethesda, you silly goose. You broke everything again. You know, after the whole Starfield thing, I don't know if anyone is gonna trust them. Like, I know like people shouldn't have, but people were excited for Starfield. But Elder Scrolls 6, I don't know, man.
I feel like after Starfield, it honestly after Skyrim, people should have been wary about Bethesda games, but
after Fallout 76, they should have been for sure. But after Starfield, they should be like, definitely no.
which means they won't.
Which means, yeah. Did you see the thing where it got so bad that the modders for Starfield gave up?
That's funny.
Day one, someone had the inventory Sky UI ready for Starfield because everyone knew that they wouldn't have the actual like proper like UI for the inventory.
Yeah.
It's just, it just works.
The fact that they could get that working on a completely brand new game.
What? You mean the same engine that has great grandfathered bugs in?
Fine.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine why they have great grandfathered bugs.
I can. They don't.
I mean,
because people are buying the game anyway.
I know why. It's because they don't want to change their engine. What is this? Heavy helmet. +1 defense. That's neat. But minus luck. Can't have that. That's illegal. Can't have minus luck. Luck is too good. Bonitos. The mackerel. This sounds really good, actually. The miso soup with mackerel.
Yeah.
Sounds really good. Anyway, about that fish. Put the fish on there. Bethesda. The company everyone loves to hate.
All right, I got one for you.
Yeah?
The new Minecraft update dropped.
A new one? The one with the mace weapon?
No, the one with the wolf armor.
Oh.
And the
that
armadillos.
one. Oh, that's cool. I guess.
Yeah.
You know,
Isn't it great?
I've been playing a lot of modded Minecraft because it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised they actually went and did that.
Yeah.
Will you die? They're healing off me. Oh, jeez. This hurt. Also, just don't die. There we go. Persimmon. Same.
Oh, are you ready for this?
Oh, I don't know.
YouTube has started experimenting with ads that play while your video's paused.
Wow, your video is paused?
Yeah.
Like if you pause the video to like get up and go to the bathroom or something, they just
Then it'll play an ad. Or if you pause the video to read some text that was put up on screen, then an ad will play. So you can't read the text.
Yeah. I wonder how that'll go.
Oh, it'll go great, I'm sure.
Yeah, at least it's not Twitch. I was watching one of the Tarkov streamers like go through stuff and like, because there was some new things that came out this morning. It was the backtracking that they did. And so I was watching him, and then I was like, you know, because I'm not subbed to the guy on Twitch. 2 minutes of ads. I'm like, okay, I see how it is. I left.